Good morning, dear Dharma friends. Sound okay? That was No Hard Feelings by the Avett Brothers. I have no enemies. Continuing on with Thomas Merton from yesterday. By being attentive, by learning to listen, to pay attention, or recovering the natural capacity to listen, which cannot be learned any more than breathing, we can find ourselves engulfed in such happiness that it cannot be explained. The happiness of being at one with everything, in that hidden ground of love for which there can be no explanations. By being attentive, by learning to listen, to pay attention, or recovering the natural capacity to listen, which cannot be learned any more than breathing, we can find ourselves engulfed in such happiness that it cannot be explained. The happiness of being at one with everything, in that hidden ground of love for which there can be no explanations. Thomas Merton's Essential Writings. It is delightful to be here with you this morning. I made an observation coming out to my little house this morning. It was light. I could see the individual grains of gravel easily. Something's changing. So please let us follow the ancient ritual. And perhaps to remember the company that we keep with each other. If you take a moment to look around this screen, everyone here shares a value, an understanding, which results in perhaps getting up early, perhaps certainly prioritizing coming together to practice over everything else, making arrangements with children and partners and work. So this is a very rarefied group of people. Take a moment to look at your friends, at your colleagues on this journey. Most people on the planet would never take 2 seconds to do what we're doing here. To turn inward, to pay attention, to face the music, to come nose to nose with our own personal neurotic patterns, and to taste of mindfulness and concentration. It's really a very unusual group of people. And with our imaginations, we can think back in time all the way to the Buddha, 120 or 140 generations, where in the morning, not only in the morning, but commonly in the morning, Think about this. Your ancestors in the Dharma, speaking all kinds of different languages, dressing in different ways, eating different food. I just remembered one little apocryphal story. I don't know if it's in the canon, and it doesn't matter. 2 women, early morning in the dark, on their way to get water, a time-honored practice. They're on the way to get water, and one greets the other and says, "Good morning, my dear sister. And which of the 4 foundations of mindfulness are you practicing this morning?" We can also reflect upon the Buddha, certainly the historical, amazing human being, Siddhartha Gautama, who woke up, but also the Buddha right here in us, that is us. And the Dharma. The realities of this morning, this moment, are what they are. You could be feeling really crisp and healthy and energetic. Or you could be feeling sick. Your life could be in circumstances of success and hopefulness, or it could be crumbling. We take refuge in the way it actually is. And in that way, this is the practice of love and insight. Why not begin with, I aspire to love and accept myself exactly as I am. What a relief that can be. And there are some very simple strategies which lead us in the direction of awakeness. One is take a comfortable upright posture. Notice that this body is utterly alive. There's pressure where the weight of the body contacts the chair. If you're leaning, there's contact of the back with the chair. There's life in the feet and the legs. There's life in the hands, the fingers. Notice the aliveness in the face. And notice that the breath comes and goes. It manifests as the sensations in the chest and abdomen. So the breath, the sensations of breathing in and breathing out provide a home base, a still point, a place to return to. And this intention to return here somehow mysteriously results in the mind becoming more visible. And so you notice the mind wandering. There is a tendency to set up a war with the mind. Because often the mind is painful enough we want to get rid of it. But the war never works. And so we have this intention of loving ourselves exactly as we are. And the mind may be busy in desire, wanting, or not wanting, pushing away, disliking. It could be busy in restlessness and agitation, worry. Or it could be journeying in sloth and torpor. Or there could be doubt. Or there could be emotions running. And they're all very convincing. They say, I'm real, I'm real. And then mindfulness lights them up, and concentration focuses the beam of mindfulness. And then we awaken from the trance, and we can once again rest in in-breathing and out-breathing. It's wise for us to take a high-level view of the mind sometimes. Is this a moment when the mind is easily calm, quiet, with occasional thoughts perhaps? Or is it a challenge to break out of the thoughts at all? Is this a mind where dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, is dominant, or is it at least in a mild state? Is it a mind that's restless? Is it a mind that's wanting something? Is it a mind that's not wanting, disliking what's happening? It's absolutely essential that we learn to observe liking and disliking objectively. Because the human mind does that. One aspect of mindfulness is somehow remembering to remember to be mindful. And to let ourselves sit like a rock. Like one of those giant Douglas firs out in the forest. They get buffeted around a lot up in the crown, but down there at the base, there is just no moving them. And so there's a way we just land here. When itches come, we let them itch. When body pain comes, we let it be painful. Of course, if it becomes just too much, then we mindfully move. It's not a competition. But to always move robs us of the opportunity of going deeper. How much kindness can you bring to your practice right now? It really isn't a battle. It's this non-coercive, non-violent, remembering what's always been true. One of the reasons that we use the breath and body as our home base is because While it is in constant change, it is the least rapidly changing aspect of a human organism. Thoughts come and go with the speed of thought. Perceptions come and go. But the body, and we can widen the field of view of the body. One way to do that is known as sweeping meditation. Body sweeping. And it goes like this. And you could choose not to do this. You could simply stay with the breath and notice this voice as hearing sound. Or you could participate in embracing more fully the fact of human incarnation, of being a body. So I invite you to bring awareness into the crown, the top of your head. And it's not that you have to kind of look up from your pituitary gland, or there's no location to awareness. It is where life is. So noticing the crown of the head, and then perhaps the sides of the head, where the ears reside. Perhaps the back. The forehead and the eyebrows, and the eyes, and the cheeks. The cheekbones, the nose. And if your mind wanders off, don't worry about it. Just pick up the next place. The upper lip, the cheeks, the jaw, and maybe let your jaw open just a little bit and realize the truth of this. And down the back side of the head to where the spine begins, and the back of the neck and the front of the neck. The left side and the right side, and the interior of the neck. And the neck gives way to the shoulders. We could begin with the left shoulder. We're not looking for anything fancy or earth-shaking. It's just the shoulder and the upper arm, the bicep, the elbow and the forearm, the left hand, with its fingers one by one, the baby finger and the ring finger, the middle finger, the pointer, and the thumb. the back side of the hand and the palm side. And the same with the right hand, the fingers one by one. The palm side of the hand and the back. The wrist and the forearm and the elbow. And the upper arm and shoulder. Notice how alive the arms, fingers, hands can be. They are. If we listen, if we attend carefully. And beginning with the atlas, the joint of the spine to the skull. And tracing your way with awareness all the way down the spine. All the way to the sacrum. And there might be the pressure of the chair here too. And starting at the armpits and the shoulders opening into the chest. The solar plexus and abdomen, and notice how they move with the breath. And there's all those sensations way down in the gut, where the pelvis contains the entire lower end of the digestive system and the reproductive organs. Life. Aware of the pelvis. And the lower end, the anus, the end of the digestive system, the genitals, and notice, is there some sense of looking down from above, or more realistically, is awareness just opening here now in the left leg, in the thigh? In the back of the thigh and the front of the thigh and the interior of the thigh and the exterior of the thigh. And the knee and the calf and the shin. The ankle, the heel, the long arch. The top of the foot, the metatarsal arch, and the toes, perhaps one by one, certainly all in one piece, you can feel that. And the right thigh starts at the groin and the hip, the front and the back and the inside and outside. When the mind wanders, just come back. It doesn't matter that it wanders. Every time it wanders offers the opportunity to wake up again. Aware of the backside of the knee and the front of the knee and the calf and the shin and the ankle and the heel, the Achilles tendon, the long arch, the metatarsals, the toes. This is the life of the body. The second instruction the Buddha gave for mindfulness is following, be aware of breathing in all of its variations. Be mindful of the entire breath body. Be mindful of the entire body as it breathes. This can become very interesting. Awakening in life. And so it is that awareness, aliveness, the body, presence, all arise together. And please let us form the intention to take mindfulness and love and compassion with us everywhere we go today. We've had a wonderful beginning, a wonderful resetting of the organism. You might imagine one thing that you know you'll do, perhaps driving the car or washing the dishes or taking a bath or a shower, cooking a meal, shopping at the grocery store. Create an inner reminder. I intend to be awake. I intend to notice those around me. And may all beings everywhere share in the merits of our practice. May beings of all kinds share in the merits of our practice. In a few moments, the gong will sound. Please let's notice that, and then become aware of the face and the eyes and the intention to open the eyes. Participating in the miracle of life. Seeing one another. I'm aware of two things to announce this morning. I just realized this morning that within the next few weeks, I'm going to offer a Saturday day-long retreat from 9 to 5. It'll be a focus on really recognizing the 5 hindrances and the 7 enlightenment factors. I don't know the date yet. It just occurred to me this morning. And the other is I'm going to offer, I think, an 8-week class very soon. And I'm thinking to simply take one of the volumes of Ajahn Sumedho's collected works and make that the intellectual piece of it. So it may be something different than that, but that'll be within a month. Birch, you're asking something. Does anyone have access to today's Merton quote? Oh, why don't I put it in the chat? I'll do that in a couple of minutes. Thank you. Jim, is there anything else that we should announce?
I'm having trouble.
Oh, hang on. I'm not going to hear. I got to move something here.
Yep.
Now I will, I think.
Okay. I'm having trouble thinking or speaking right now, but I don't see any.
I understand.
Right on the edge
Okay.
of this month. The month is fading.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So, and we need to turn into pumpkins at 2 minutes to 8 because we have a board meeting. So, it's a funny image, isn't it, to turn into pumpkins? Strange. Childhood stories. So, dear friends,
Your retreat coming up is not going to be in the hall, I take it.
no, I don't think so. I think it'll be virtual. Yeah, we're going to talk about that at the board meeting, though, when we can start meeting again. It looks promising right now, doesn't it? COVID is, unless this new variation takes off like it did in somewhere in Europe, it went nuts. When I left, I gave Marla a free hand, a decoration. And oh my God, she and a friend did this. That's one little glimpse. The living room. Totally different than it was. And here's a view along that wall. Isn't that nice? And here's down the sitting area. New couches. And whoops, go back. I mean, it looks just lovely. Huh. And one more here. The kitchen. Oh my gosh. The kitchen with a new floor and without that monster table. With a new stove. New to us. And finally, the Dharma Hall doesn't look so radically different, but it looks pretty nice. So there. So, up to you, friends, if you have anything you'd like to share.
Hi, Robert. It's
Hello,
Joy.
Joy.
I'm kind of blurry. I don't know why, but I know we don't have much time, so I don't need to spend too much time on this. But I just wanted to mention that my father died on Friday,
Oh,
and
my. No wonder you're blurry.
yeah, we don't have to go into too much detail except to say my mind is constantly creating stories about the situation.
Uh-huh.
Um, Obsessively, and I don't know if the story, you can never know what really happened. I mean, he had a difficult, complicated life, and he and his wife were champion guilt inflictors. So
Uh-huh.
mostly my mind is trying to figure out how guilty I really am and what to make of it.
Mm.
So anyway, he is gone.
May I nudge you?
Yeah.
Your father only dies once. Our parents only die once. And it's a big deal. And so you're probably significantly in shock. And the mind tries to make sense out of it. It bargains. It does all kinds of things. And I would encourage you to just very gently watch how challenging it will be for a while. And to have a talk with a good friend and really just be open to it. That it'll try to think its way to some kind of resolution, and that's restlessness, agitation, worry. But it's going to be challenging for a while.
I am surprised how challenging it is.
Of course. Right. Gosh, I didn't have much relationship with him anymore. And why am I so... Yeah, well, he was your father. Archetypal relationship. And
Yeah.
so making room. And you never know what's going to come up after a death.
Yeah, my brothers and I are doing well.
Uh-huh.
And they haven't told me that I'm guilty. But his wife phoned me before he died and explained how cold and unloving we all were.
I see.
That was a bit shocking.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess.
Maybe I was.
Well, there might have been some reciprocity there.
I don't know.
It might have been necessary to be a little cold and distant if we were being tortured.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know that you don't have much time today. I just want.
We have all the time in our meeting for you, if that's where we're at, Joy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The death of your father, your loss, is of utmost importance.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
It's not a small thing. It's a big thing.
He died he was sent out of Winnipeg to a hospital in rural Manitoba.
Huh.
Because I guess they didn't have room for someone who was lying in a coma day after day.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a snowstorm and the roads were really, really bad, so nobody could really visit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I just can't go to Winnipeg right now. It's just so the weather's so bad.
Isn't the weather always so bad in Winnipeg?
It's terrible.
In the winter, it's 35 or 40 below, and in the summer, the mosquitoes are terrible. But be merciful with yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You don't need to run off and fix something. You just need to love yourself.
Yeah, I guess it's the story making that's kind of tiring, constantly fabricating.
Yep. So the more you can just let that run and watch it and let it unwind, you'll heal. And there's something else that when a parent dies, I think of it as it's like the veil between the worlds is torn. It becomes, that person, has been present on the earth for every second of your existence.
Mm.
And now he's not. That's quite a gift you're getting, to know that. He actually lived in time. He wasn't a timeless being. And so you have, and this could also set off lots of older grief. This can open the door to the grief. And that's that's a real gift.
Well, in the last 14 months, my mother, my sister-in-law, and my father have all died.
I see.
So
It's a triple whammy.
that's a lot of death.
Yeah, it's a lot of death.
And in the whole country, in Canada, 39,000 people have died of COVID,
Right.
which is more than 3 times what people would have died of. Anyway, death.
So it's a perfect moment for you to be reflecting on death.
Yeah.
It's your curriculum, your life curriculum, has opened a chapter on death.
Yes, it has. Yes, thank you.
You might really enjoy or be comforted by reading some of Stephen Levine's work, maybe Who Dies, or maybe Frank Ostaszewski's The 5 Invitations. This might be a beautiful moment for that.
And also a beautiful moment to enjoy the morning meditations with this group of people who are so kind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Regarding your blurriness, did you try cleaning the little camera place on your
I did, and I think maybe this is a pretty old iMac, I think, and so my computer, my devices are also dying.
Right, I see. Well, for $40 or $50, you can buy a plug-in camera that will be super crisp.
Or maybe for $1,500, I could buy a new computer.
Oh, that's true. Maybe it's time to celebrate and get a new computer. All right, enough tech support. We need to go. Lovely to be with you this morning.
Thank you.
Oh, there's a little question or something from Daria. Books by Stephen Levine and Frank. Oh, Frank. Oh, I didn't put the poem. I will put the poem in my blog right after the board meeting. And Stephen Levine, Frank Ostaszewski, just like it sounds, Ostaseski. If you look for the 5 invitations, it'll pop up. Pop that up. He's a marvelous man. He's one of the founders of the Zen Hospice in San Francisco, and he works all the time with oh dear, what's her name? Joan Halifax. I met Joan Halifax for the first time at 18,000 feet on Mount Kailash when I was having altitude-induced sleep apnea, and my then partner was having pretty serious altitude sickness. And we met in the fog, and I heard she was on the mountain. I'd never met her, but I'd heard of her. And it was a marvelous encounter. And I've met her 3 or 4 times since then. And it's always, well, I think it's just how she meets people. It's been so beautiful to be with her. What an amazing person. She has a new book, too, Meeting at the Edge, I think. Joan Halifax. Okay. Shall we sing? You ready? Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a lovely, mindful day, dear friends. A one of a kind as it is. Here we go.